All right, let's send it back out to Seneca as our zip trip continues this morning with Fred and Olivia, who should be out there right about now.
We are out here right about now. Good morning, Stephen. And of course, we are here at Norton Thompson Park in the city of Seneca. This was a city that was built by people who came from a wide variety of backgrounds.
That's right. And Stephen, you were able to learn a little bit more about Seneca's history. What all did you learn?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good story, and I got to learn about the popular Ramcat Alley and how in the story of how it got its unusual name. Take a look. Even before Seneca was established in 1873, historians say there were always people living in that rural area.
I mean, the original name for Seneca was a Seneca, which is named after a Cherokee tribe that had lived on the Seneca River. Moving forward from that, there were plantations here, there were enslaved people here. There have always been a diverse population of people in this area.
Nick McKinney, director of the city's museums, says the area's different walks of life are what helped build the city.
Rural communities were a difficult place to live. I mean, you had the train coming through, which kind of changed what resources people had access to. It was a harder life, so people did work together and were able to come together to build structures, to worship, to do some aspects of life.
Seneca has a proud African-American history, dating back to the first plots of land being bought in that area.
When Seneca was first founded and the railroad company did its lot sale, 3 of the actual first land purchasers were African-American. So we talk about how Seneca's had a diverse history from this very beginning.
Tucked away on South Poplar Street is the site of only one of 2 remaining faith cabin libraries in the state, which was part of a project to give African Americans access to books.
And that provided a place for African Americans during segregation in the Jim Crow South access to learning materials. So schools were being built in the rural areas of South Carolina, but not libraries to provide educational materials. So this was a supplement to that project. Yeah, so this is the main room. So this is where the shelves would have been with the books, tables, desks set up for students. From here up.
Oh yeah, for the bottom 2.
Yeah,
obviously.
it's original.
Same with the fireplace. And
Yep, all the stones are original over there. So everything visible outside is original.
Just down the road from that site, you'll find the historic Ramcat Alley, a strip of downtown with shopping and restaurants, and a unique story of how it got its name.
And it was because of Peter and Molly Majors, who were African-American business owners. Every day, they would go to the train to collect their goods, and they happened to collect a lot of fish. They would go around town, they would sell these fish, and a bunch of cats, as you would expect, would come around as the day kind of ended and the fish started to smell a little bit. And there's this joking phrase of you could not ram another cat down this alley. That's actually, from our documentation, how Ramcat Alley got its name.
Ramcat Alley was plagued with multiple fires, mainly due to being constructed with wood, but buildings you see today are the ones that brought the street back to life.
What replaced them were buildings that were built predominantly about 1915, 1917 and newer on one side. There are a couple examples of older buildings that still stand, but a lot of them are post-1915 and newer.
Ramcat Alley serves as a focal point in Seneca, but is still a small part of a city that is growing and has a piece of history in every corner. If you want to read more about the history of Seneca, just head over to our website, WSPA.com. Tell you what, that's a pretty cool story of Ramcat Alley and how it got its name. I didn't know it, so it was cool learning about that.
And then driving through here today, obviously you get to see some of what he was mentioning in that story. And I mean, Seneca continues to grow. So many businesses, so many people moving to the area, and it's easy to see why, obviously.
Yeah, and it's a really, really cool Main Street area. So, you know, follow us all morning and then make a trip this weekend over here because there's a lot to see and do.
Absolutely. Stephen, we'll send it back to you for a check of your top stories this morning.